Hello there, Frogman, better known as Ryan. Have you ever wanted things to be easier? Of course not. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're a gamer that can take on just about anything. There's no amount of unyielding bullshit that you cannot get past. And if you can't do it, then you're just a fake gamer. You either have to get good or get lost. There's no room for people with no skill in the gaming sphere. What were you thinking on being bad at a game? How dare you be discriminatory against people with skill? Don't you know that this game requires higher brain functions to be able to...
Thank you to Anonymous Jerry for suggesting this game. Enter the Gungeon is a challenging roguelike developed by Dodge Roll and published by Devolver Digital, my favorite indie publishing people. Open the game and you're given a simple explanation as to why you should care. On a distant planet, a well-fortified castle gets f***ed by a bullet from the heavens and creates the Gungeon. Normally this wouldn't be a big deal, but rumors spread of a gun that can kill the past to make what was done undone.
Are we not going to ask about the implications of erasing one's past? I mean, sure, memories might be painful, but they give us context into our lives right now, and to erase them is to deny that they ever happened, and to deny us ever living.
Yeah, there's no reason to get caught up in how things work and what consequences there are for doing it. Believe me, there are far worse things to be worried about soon, like which character you want to play as. You've got the Marine, reminiscent of the Doom guy, the pilot looking like if his Han Solo was a skater boy, the convict coming from every crime film you've ever seen, and the hunter who's overall balanced and DOG! Each of the characters have different abilities and starting weapons, but it's not worth getting into it before the tutorial. You're greeted by Sir Manuel, who teaches you all the basics you will need to know. You're taught movement, flipping tables to provide cover, aiming and shooting, and along with the most important abilities, dodge rolling and blanks. As the name implies, dodge rolling allows you to dodge incoming bullets, but leaves you vulnerable once you hit the ground. It's the most important move you have, as it lets you evade otherwise impossible patterns and jump over gaps that might appear in the Gungeon. And speaking of impossibilities, you've also got the blanks and its impossibility to be used optimally. At least by me. Using a blank clears all bullets from the room and prevents enemy guns from firing for a short moment, making it the perfect get out of jail move that is so useful I never use it properly. Something about its insane potential and consumable nature of the item makes me so nervous to use them when I need to. I always think I can get out of any situation without using it, only to get hit and use it afterward. Perfect, but I'm getting ahead of myself. What is the game proper like? You enter the Gungeon by going to the top of the breach and begin your run. All you have to start are the starting weapons and abilities your chosen character comes with. The Marine starts with an armor piece, which when taking damage acts as a blank, giving you some good room to think about how you messed up. He also starts as the most accurate and consistent Gungeoneer, as his military training passive makes weapons more accurate and reload faster. The pilot drops prices on shop items, has a natural additional capacity for active items and ammo reserves, and can also utilize lockpicks to open things that need keys. Sometimes. The convict starts with a sawed-off shotgun as an additional weapon, a crazy good Molotov active item, and the ability to do additional damage upon taking damage, also known as I meant to do that. And the hunter has the smallest starting loadout with only the crossbow and one passive, but it's made up for the fact that the passive is a dog that you can pet. It also has a chance of digging up items upon completing rooms, and that's cool too, I guess. There's also hidden characters, but I didn't get to see them, so I'm not going to talk about them. They're really cool though. Going through the Gungeon, you will encounter multiple rooms that contain a wide variety of enemies with their own gun/bullet related themes to them. I love how each enemy is categorized, and a lot of care has gone into making them unique from each other, both in appearance and mechanics. While there is some overlap into their bullet patterns, every class of enemy has a unique attack that you need to be mindful of if you want to succeed. I just love the constant wide variety of enemies that you see on each floor, both being memorable and easy to understand once you see what they bring. Now is as good of a time as any to bring in the amazing pixel art on display here. Everything is done in this 16-bit looking art style with an insane level to detail for almost everything you look at. From the dynamic guns having unique animations to their firing, which we'll get to later, or the casings of spent bullets falling onto the ground and staying there, This game's art direction and animation execution is top-notch without a doubt. The enemies you do encounter seem fair to fight on their own, but due to the random nature of the game, there will likely be multiple threats you need to deal with, which get chaotic real quick, and in some cases can be really bullshit in their placement.
While I'm taking a stand, I proclaim that at this moment forward, all games should never have any random elements ever, and if developers can't design around that, then clearly they're hacks and don't know how to design challenge.
Let's talk roguelikes and difficulty. This game primarily has 5 levels, each one scaling up enemy health and difficulty as you progress. To progress, you need to find the elevator room guarded by a boss that is usually hard as hell to beat. Navigating through the chambers is difficult enough with a wide range of placements and threats that can appear in any room, keeping you on your toes from the moment you step into any room. Dodge rolling and tactical blank usage becomes imperative, as a simple misstep could lead to a room shredding through your health, leaving you ill-prepared for what comes ahead. Now, I don't claim to be the guy that knows how hard games should be. I'd be surprised if you did think that. But this game is really hard, man. Dying on any level sends you all the way back to the beginning with none of the items you acquired previously. And making it to the further chambers for me was a luck of the draw if I either get a good gun or a boss that I can handle. But that's my own problem, as I'm sure things get easier with the more that I learn and the more I practice these enemies. But even as you're getting better at the normal enemies, you still need to account for factors like curse values and jammed enemies. Jammed enemies have a dark red filter over them and have increased health while also dealing double damage. They become harder but drop more money when killed. Curses happen due to a wide range of factors and generally make the current run harder by making more enemies jammed, turn more chests into mimic, and at 10 points of curse, summon the Lord of Jams to bully you for the rest of the run. That and chests will more likely have fuses, blowing them up, and item drops will be less likely with more curse. Generally, the more curse you get, the more bullshit you are given. But to combat the ever-increasing amount of bullshit is the ability to get more powerful guns and abilities throughout the gungeon. Whether it be through opening chests with keys, buying items from shops, or simply getting gifted by the gods, one of the big appeals of this game is the wide variety of guns within the game. There's such a wide variety of imaginative and fun weapons in the game, it will most likely keep you entertained for a very long time. You've got your normal stuff like the AK-47 or revolvers, but there are loads more guns with extremely wacky effects and super fun details, like the Dark Marker, a gun that shoots 2 types of shots and explodes when they meet, or the Rad Gun, which has an active reload and increases your damage if you succeed. Plus, it makes you feel awesome when nailing the reload. Cool. While the guns are the biggest selling point to this game, they are by far not the only thing you need to think about when you're going through the gungeon. Littered throughout the shops and chests are different items that can increase your armor count, give you orbiting protection stones, or other items that offer passive abilities to your character. But the big ticket and most complicated part of this comes in the form of synergies that can come up when you pair 2 weapons or passives together. These synergies are a little more difficult to gain, as you need a select few items from the vast pool of things this game has, and sometimes the ones that you get aren't even worth it. Like, I got one where I increased my movement speed only when I had a specific gun out. Boo. But that was just one synergy. There are so many others with far better effects, like this one that I stumbled upon, with the shotgun full of love. I don't know which one I got, but a fairy followed me around whenever I had the gun out, and it told me the contents of chests, which was pretty cool, if a little bit impractical to intentionally get. There are shops and chests that allow for an easier time to get synergies, so it might be in my best interest to find my favorite one and gun for that specific, oh my god. Along with the dumpster truck full of weapons and passives that this game lays before you are the amount of synergies in this game. It's absolutely staggering, and you'd definitely be hard pressed to encounter all of them ever. And because of that, it brings me to a small complaint I have, in that a lot of item functions and abilities are rather vague in their descriptions, almost requiring a wiki to understand what you have and what everything does. For example, the master rounds are items you get for clearing a boss without being hit during that fight. Pick it up and it simply tells you that it's the master round for that chamber. And while your view is looking at that item you just got, you might have missed that your max hearts are increasing, rewarding you for a job well done. But you never tell me that, do you? I get it's a small issue considering once you know what it does, its value becomes apparent, but when you've acquired it for the first time and you're trying to get the true experience of the game without any wiki help to avoid spoilers, you end up with a load of trash wondering what to do with any of it and looking like a doofus while doing. Look, I'm not against the complexity of the game requiring a wiki to understand, but when I get a synergy and I only get the name of the synergy and nothing else, I can't help but feel a little bit left out to dry. You don't even get that information when checking them in the inventory. You hover over them and you get an arrow indicating that they synergize with each other. But will the game tell you how to utilize that? Nope! I bring it up because this game is hard enough already with its escalating health and hard as hell bosses I mentioned before. It can be easy to get caught up in the overwhelming odds and feel like you're floundering when progress isn't being made. All the preparation in the world just doesn't stand up to some hidden mechanic or new thing that appears when you are really not prepared for it. Like, what the hell is this? How was I supposed to know this would happen? Great, now I'm dead! However, even if you aren't making progress in terms of beating the final boss proper, there is always other things to make progress towards, which will definitely give you a feeling of reprieve from being atomized every time you take the dive. Sometimes there are NPCs you can save by taking a special key to their cell and freeing them. Others you will simply run into as part of natural events. All of these NPCs offer help to aid in the exploration of the Gungeon, whether it's a shop to unlock new items in, a quest to eliminate a certain number of enemies, or a quest to bring in certain resources in order to unlock the ability to start on any floor you want. These NPCs certainly help you feel like you're making progress when your main gameplay is definitely feeling lacking. There are so many interactions and things you can do with just the NPCs, and understanding each of them is integral to unlocking all you can out of the Gungeon. And to touch again on not being ready for things that might happen, I didn't know that I could kick this guy's helmet, and when I went to talk to him for the first time, I've never seen that guy again. I'm so sorry for my arrogance.
Overall, Enter the Gungeon is a very tough, but very fun experience. You're gonna need to use a wiki in order to make satisfying progress, and if not, then there's gonna be a lot of unexplained things that tear you a new asshole for no reason. It can certainly be overwhelming, but part of the fun is going up to those overwhelming challenges and using your grit, determination, and skill to power through those overwhelming odds. The art style is beautiful all the way through, and the mechanics are super solid in every aspect, making it such a very deep and rich experience in every aspect, no matter where you go. It might lose some people based on its difficulty, but there's no issue in having struggles with a really hard game, but a game that is also fair. But whatever you do, don't go and complain about difficulty on the internet, because as soon as you talk harshly about some game you love, then you can expect some